Gary Graff with Aspen Power Catamarans, and with this COVID-19 thing that's been evolving over the last 3 or 4 weeks, we've done some things in the factory to reduce the chances of a viral infection with the guys. At the point when we started this, we had as many as 7 people a day sick out of a team of about 42, and with normal flus and other things. And with these 5 changes that we've made, we're down to the last 5 days we've had no one sick. So it's pretty amazing to me that with just these 5 changes you can truly dramatically reduce the incidence of flu in your factory and risk for the team and their family members. So let's show you what we've done, and I think it might be helpful. I think I'm going to do these next year too. If I'd had any idea that I could save this much labor and keep this many guys healthy by making these simple changes, I would have done them years ago. For Aspen, the 5 steps that we put together to reduce our viral infection, first thing is personal protective gear, dust mask basically for the team. The next thing, which was important, was our touch points, the areas where the guys are touching equipment that they all touch. The next thing is a big one, was airflow in the factory. We have a ceiling fan, and we put that into play. I'll come back to the details on this. Then we developed a confined space ventilation program where we filter the air into a confined space and then we filter it back out. So even if the guy is sick in there, he's not sharing his bugs with someone else. And then the next thing we did, the final thing, is we put the guys on 2 different shifts so that they're spread out about twice as far as they were inside a boat when they're building it. So 2 shifts has been a part of the game for the last week too. So just to give you an idea of the results, when we started this, with our 40-man team, we were having, basic flu, which is really brutal this year, stomach flu, and colds. January through February, we were averaging between 14 and 20% of our team out sick. We started this program March 2nd, and at a day where we had 7 guys out sick. And we just said, there's got to be a solution to this. Kind of brainstormed these items, and then we've been putting the items in place over the last 3 weeks. But at this point, we started off with the cleaning and the ventilation, and that helped, and then we went to dust masks and our second shift. And at that point, we're down to the last 5 days with 100% of the team here. And so pretty dramatic change. And what's historical kind of for us and most boat builders, I think, is this time of the year, February and March, it's a very sick period, and the guys are working in confined space, and they may be sick for 2 or 3 weeks, and when they do get well, or they're not really well, they come back to work still too and share it. So we really told the sick guys to stay home, but we also started cleaning all the surfaces and things like that. Let's go over and just kind of go through the 5 items here. Personal protective gear. This took us a little longer to do with the COVID virus. We just simply couldn't get any dust masks anymore. So we developed our own, and this is made with a layer of kind of pajama type material on the inside and a layer of pillowcase material on the outside with a little bit of bungee cord. And then for the nose piece, we sewed in a piece of those twist grip things that they have at Home Depot in their hardware section. It's just a little gear tie. We can twist it around an extension cord or something like that. We cut those and put them in the nose piece. So we've got a pretty good protective piece here. Take about 30 minutes to sew. We basically had my wife sew these up for the team, but the upholstery shop or something like that can do it. And it may be fairly soon that we can all get a dust mask again. So that was one thing. And the idea with the dust mask is that it keeps your stuff in, it keeps the other's stuff out, and really pretty effective. We've got an owner that's a nurse, or she taught nurses for years. She sent us a flyer or an email that was very well written that explained why a dust mask is very, very helpful to keep keep your stuff in, keep other stuff out. The next points that we went through, and this was really a good brainstorming session with our whole team, is we went through what are our touch points? Where are the things that we all touch throughout the factory? Things like doorknobs, the power breakers when you walk in to turn them on, the switches and buttons for the different machinery, our phones, the lunchroom tables, the microwave and the buttons for the microwave, our faucets, stall handles in the bathrooms, chairs, the backs of the chairs and things like that, armrests, the stair rails, when you're going up and down the stair rails, everybody's touching those. Forklift is shared by a lot of people, and then our carts get pushed around by quite a few people too. So those were areas that we decided we were going to clean every day, and we've got a process in place and a checklist where we clean those every day. And you know, some of them get cleaned twice a day. The lunchroom area and the tables, because they're in there for breaks and stuff, we clean those twice a day. The next area we identified was airflow throughout the factory. In my view, a lot of the viruses are airborne. Normal viruses are airborne, and the COVID virus appears to be far more airborne than most. If one person in a room comes into a room with 10 people, it sounds like, you know, 6, 7 or more can get sick from it. That's very airborne. So we decided we're going to let the air flow through our factory. So what we've done here, our factory happens to have a big ceiling fan. It's a 5 horsepower ceiling fan, and what we can do is, and what we do is we take a 1-inch piece of wood on either side of a big roll-up door, and we do it here, and we set the door down and get a 1-inch gap under the door. We turn our 5 horsepower ceiling fan on, and that creates an airflow through the whole room and sucks the air out, probably changes the air every 6 to 10 minutes. If you don't have a big ceiling fan, another option would be to lower your door on, you know, basically say a 12-inch wide block with a fan in the middle, and have the air flow in on one side and out the other. You're trying to exchange the air more than you've been doing in the past. I think it's just a much healthier way to go. So airflow is kind of what we've done. We're lucky with the big ceiling fan, but there are other options to get some air flowing through your factory and exchanging it. The other thing we identified as a problem spot was because we're building boats and they're building staterooms in the boats, it's a fairly confined space. And we've made some devices, we'll go down to the factory and show you these things, that fit into the port lights on our boats. And we basically built a box with it's almost the strongest filter you can buy, and then a fan in that box, and we basically filter the air in to the confined space, and then we filter it on the way out. The idea is that if the guy in here is sick, I want him to have fresh air coming in, but I don't want his, you know, COVID dust or flu dust, whatever you want to call it, going out into the rest of the factory. Even though I have a fan blowing, I wanted to catch it at that point and not share with anybody else. So by the time he has his personal protective gear on and filtered air, both sides of it, we basically don't have any issues anymore. So then this is kind of how our factory works here, where you have the doors, the air comes in, it goes out through the ceiling here. But you could also do a cross flow if you wanted. The fifth step that we did was, as the concerns about COVID got bigger, we just split the team into 2 shifts. So we did this last week. And this is actually when we got down to 0 guys sick. We were having, you know, 1 or 2 people sick still. Splitting the team at that point, 0 people sick. So it absolutely has an effect on how many people are sick, how close you're working together. Once we get through with our shutdown here, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a process that, you know, a smart factory, you know, a virus smart factory might be something that a lot of companies want to do. So anyway, let's go out in the factory and show you what we've done. Okay, so here we're in the bathroom. So we've got a schedule to come clean the things, but we also left some of the cleaning pieces out for people so that if they want to clean after themselves, they can. So we have it in the bathroom, and then we also have some in the office area too. So out in the office area, we've left some disinfectant cleaning wipes out, and you know, for the guys to clean their chairs, the counter spaces, and then also a little bit of hand lotion, because if you're washing your hands this much, your hands get dry. Okay, here we are out in the factory, and these lunch tables used to be in our lunch room. So part of our process was to spread the lunchroom out a little bit to give the guys more space when they're eating, and and then these are getting cleaned twice a day at this point. So, all right guys, so my little telltales keep getting caught on themselves. So this is just to give you an idea of how we're letting air into the building here. You can see we're getting quite a flow, basically the air comes in through this door. There's another door on the far side doing the same thing right now. And then in the center of the building, in the roof, we happen to have a fan. If you don't have that, all you really need to do is build a blocker that you can lower the door down and have a fan in the middle, kind of like the sketch that we had upstairs. So just gives you an idea of the airflow that we have. And the idea is that we're exchanging the air in here, fresh air for the guys on a constant basis. Ready? Okay, so this is one of our larger filter units that we built. These will go up in the salon. And this is a 16 by 16 filter, and basically we've built a plenum chamber behind it that lets a fan, pull the air basically through. And we've got a couple of different speeds that we can run it on. Again, same concept where you filter the air into the space and then filter it on the way out. Just made out of 1/2-inch wood, nothing too big. It's got a gasket where it fits through a window. And the filters basically can be changed weekly at this point. What we've seen so far is nothing you can see basically gets on them. But it's it really is fresher air in the space for the guys. I'll show you one. We've got a smaller version too. I'll grab one of those. Okay, so this is our smaller unit. This one is made to fit through a port light. And again, same concept, cross-flow ventilation, and filter the air in, filter the air out. These filters just slide down in the slot. We made all this in-house, pretty simple wood construction. And then this, you can see this fits into the port light, and there's a gasket here too. So it's just a gentle flow of air through those confined spaces for the team. Okay, so here we are on the side of one of our 40-foot boats, and here's one of the filter units in place. There's a tongue that fits through the port light, and then we've taped off the edge. You can see the straps that hold it off of the rail up above. Depending on what your spaces are, you're probably going to be doing different things. It just gives you an idea what we do. This is the inbound unit. I think the other one is the outbound unit. There's one on the opposite side of the boat for this builder that's inside that space. Okay, so here we are down in the forward stateroom on our 40-footer. And this is a space about 14 feet wide. Typically the guys that get in here, if one of them's sick, boy, the other one's going to be sick soon. So this is the cross-flow ventilation that we've put together. This is the outbound air. On the opposite side is the inbound air. We're just basically moving a gentle flow of air through here that's all filtered. Okay, so here we are in the center of the factory. We had talked about the center ceiling fan. And that's basically what this is right in the ceiling. It's about a 5-horsepower fan, and we just turn it on in the morning and she runs all day long. Okay, that about wraps up our tour of the factory and the 5 steps to a virus reduction in your factory. Remember, the 5th step was we put the guys, this is our time clock, we put the guys on 2 shifts to spread them out in the facility a little more. That was the final step. And I think that's it. Hope this helps. Put my dust mask on and we'll be ready to go here. Let's go build a boat.